This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports and Chaco. We're here at the Wood Conlan presser in Nottingham. We're here with the main man, probably I'd say, at Conlan Boxing, or is Mick the main man? I think we asked this before.
Oh, he's the main man. I'm just the slacky. I'm the one who does all the work.
You're the person that sells the tickets?
Yeah.
Are you relieved that obviously all the tickets are sold and obviously getting sort of focused now on the fight? Because obviously it's quite a task, obviously selling the tickets as well. I'm sure you're like a game of Cluedo at times, but sort of relieved now it's fight week.
Relieved it's fight week. I'm relieved we got some more tickets off Matchroom. We haggled a wee bit more this week because there was another influx of people coming over. As it gets closer to the fight week, you always know people become interested again, and it comes back into their mind that the fight is happening. And we got another few people looking to go and just trying to make sure everyone is happy and getting over. That was the main thing. But I'm very excited now. Big crowd coming over. Real hostile atmosphere that we're going to be entering on Saturday. But enough Irish there to drown them out, I believe, and make their noise.
Obviously, going back sort of Frampton Quigg, obviously Frampton was obviously having to ask Quigg for tickets. Was it obviously similar? He's obviously having to ask Leigh Wood, obviously, to give him some of his tickets he hasn't sold.
I got some of his tickets, yeah. We've got some of his tickets. Some lads don't mind sitting in Leigh Wood's section, so they're getting in there. Like I said, there was a mix-up at the start when they bought them on general sale. They were getting put in, Leigh Wood fans were getting put in our sections and stuff, but we got them back as well, and we got some of his tickets, so we've infiltrated the enemy.
And that's obviously good means. You've obviously been in a similar situation, Mick. Was you obviously just over 4 years ago now? It's scary how long ago that was. Obviously your last fight, the SSE against Gerwin and Cass. Obviously you know what it's like for Mick now, obviously feeling all the pressure and everything else. Probably fair to say probably Mick's more of a higher profile. Probably knew that he's built from obviously the amateurs and everything else, but what sort of encouragement have you sort of been given him all week, or has he just been prepared for this for a long time?
Listen, Michael has had pressure since day one. Michael had more media scrutiny and attention under a microscope from the general public and fans than I had my whole career in his first fight. He was in a 6-round fight, debuted in Madison Square Garden, in front of us, packed out Madison Square Garden. Big sign on, big expectations. He's been ready for this since day dot. Like, he's been ready from day one, and I can't really offer much in that regard. He knows it all already. He's been there already. He's experienced this already. This is not new to Michael. It's new to Leigh Wood. It's not new to Michael.
And obviously for Michael, obviously in the end of your career, he was sort of biting the fingernails, obviously ringside, because you loved the war. Obviously roles reversed now. Obviously you're probably the most vocal person in the crowd. Well, obviously remember the feel of it. You're obviously giving them hand signals and things between rounds. Obviously, how's it going to feel to you on Saturday night? Obviously, bigger brother sort of looking there, and you nearly want to be in there, standing beside him, going toe to toe as well. How's it going to feel for you on Saturday night?
It's your younger brother fighting. Whether it be fighting someone who's 1-0 or fighting someone who's world champion, it's still your younger brother fighting. You always want to protect and defend your younger brother. We are brought up that way, that when one of us fights, all of us need to fight. So it's bloody hell, because of course you would love to get in there and chin whoever's in front of him and help him some way, but he's big enough, he's been through enough in camp, he's prepared enough that I know that no matter what I say or do, he is able to handle the job at hand. He has ticked every box in this camp to beat Leigh Wood. It's a tough ask. So when we come into the Land's Den, we fight a very confident world champion after beating Kanzu. A fighter is different when they become world champion in terms of confidence. The level of confidence that brings when you become world champion is massive. So we're fighting the best Leigh Wood that anyone has ever seen, and I think that will bring the best out of Michael. This atmosphere that we're entering will bring the best out of Michael. Having that chip on the shoulder, that's what he likes. He likes to have that chip on the shoulder and be spiteful in his approach.
Roles sort of reversed. Obviously, when you fight it, you love to tear up. Is obviously, I guess, Mick's obviously too well known and seeing that, and obviously he didn't like you being in a tear up. Obviously he's going to have to go where he has to go on Saturday night, but I'm guessing obviously for you, you're probably looking for a more to keep. Leigh Wood at range, so you can obviously see the shots coming. Is obviously probably your fears. You don't want to see Michael getting the tear up, or you're confident either way. What happens?
There's many different ways this fight can go. Leigh Wood's got power, no doubt about it. He can also box. People are overlooking his boxing ability, so it can become a boxing match, a real chess match. But I think, truly, at one point of this fight, it is going to be a tear-up. Whether Leigh is so far behind and he has to put it on Michael, it'll come then. Will he comes out and starts really fast and tries to chin Michael very early, it could come then. Whatever he tries to do, Michael will have an answer for.
Obviously, Conlan boxing grew before Christmas. You had two of your debutants out in Glasgow, and Kurt Walker and Kieran Malloy. How happy were you that they've got their debuts out of the way and you can now push them on?
I'm very happy. The pressure that comes with having the debut, the lads didn't understand it, and the nervous tension that they would have on their shoulders going in. Got it off the back. It's one that they'll never forget. Kurt had a fantastic first round knockout, and Kieran got his way into the second round stoppage. So it was something that they needed to have. It was good that they had it in Glasgow instead of Belfast. Took away from that additional pressure, but something that they're going to remember for the rest of their careers. And I'd say to both of them, try and enjoy the moment as much as you can, because when your career starts to snowball and fights start to come thick and fast, you start to forget each fight along the way. You start to forget the second and third fights, but you always remember the debut. The debut is always the one you remember. It sticks in your mind the most, and I think both lads will not forget that.
When are you hoping to get both lads back out again?
We're hoping one fight in the UK soon, and then June in New York for both of them.
Fantastic. Obviously keeping them both busy, which is what you want. They're both highly established amateurs as well, so keeping them as busy as possible is the main thing. Indeed, yeah, indeed. I was sort of saying to Mick there when I was obviously had a quick chat with him. Here when you're Nottingham last time, I think you sort of put a voodoo in Ben. Obviously since Leigh McGregor probably should have won. In fairness, he obviously had a draw. Josh Taylor, I don't know obviously how he's defended his title, but you've seen to put a curse on him. Obviously, the curse continues on Saturday night as well. But whatever you've done to him, you've sort of hit the self-destruct button in Ben.
Listen, I don't know about that. We're here to burst Leigh Wood's bubble, which in fact will burst Ben Davison's bubble. He's stated he's undefeated in so many fights that he's prestigious as the British Boxing Board of Control Coach of the Year. Rightfully so in a way. He's had a great year last year with Josh and Leigh and all the lads and Leigh McGregor. I thought Leigh McGregor was hard done by with the draw. I truly thought he underperformed, but he grinded out a win in my eyes. And Josh Taylor lost in my eyes. He again underperformed. Jack Catchell performed the best I've seen him in a long while. Jamie and Nigel, I think it's going unrecognised how much they got the game plan right. They were fantastic, Jamie and Nigel. They pitted their wits against Ben and Co. and the guys who watched their slow-mo videos of the opponents, and I thought they came up trumps, just hard done by that the judges were.
I think Jamie in particular has probably got a lot of undue sort of bad press, sort of, was with Carl and everything else. So there's sort of people saying that Carl went downhill, which was probably unfair. But obviously fair play to them last week. They got the game plan perfect. Everybody sort of has the same feelings as well that Jack Harrow won that fight. How do the British Boxing Board fix things? I guess you were a fighter. You're obviously now in the promotion side of things as well. It's probably a hard one to label. But is there anything you probably think? Like, I know people's come out and said 5, 6 judges, 3 different pairs. How can they fix it? Is it just a case of incompetence by referees and maybe getting the education from, say, the likes of America and obviously judging there or somewhere else? How can they fix that?
I do think it's incompetence more than anything. They're incompetent, but they're not being punished for their incompetence. I seen Ian John Lewis is being demoted, maybe a star or something like that, and that's probably a start to way to fixing things. But the incompetence in the judging in Britain has been for a long time. And even with this one, we challenged the British Boxing Board of Control judge appointed for this, which is Bob Williams, but we have 2 foreign judges, which the WBA appointed and we approved. so we're not in the same situation as Jack was last week. But how do we fix it? It's very easy to point the finger and start blaming and start shouting and ranting and raving, but very few people can come up with a solution to fix it. It's been a problem long before I started boxing. I think the statement that boxing is subjective is a cop-out. I think to identify and address the incompetence of each judge and to punish or reward in different ways is something that could be done. Constant information in terms of what exactly they're looking at in terms of scoring a fight. Everyone scores the fights differently if they're saying objective or subjective. Well, then inform us how a fight should be scored. What should we all be looking for? It should be across the board what were people are trying to look for and how to score a fight. They've got away with it for a long time. Unpunished for a long time. It's good to see some kind of punishment here. Is it enough? I don't know. I don't really know. I haven't really looked into it. I just glimpsed at it this morning when I seen it. But yeah, it was a worry for this one. It was definitely a worry because we are the B-side. We are coming into the opponent's territory, into Britain, and yeah. But we made our challenges. We put our points across for the reasons for the challenge, and we got 2 international judges on that.
I guess the good thing is that it's sort of happened in advance and all eyes are sort of be on this because obviously there's been a world title fight since, but obviously all the eyes are now going to be on this to say, is everything going to be right? There's obviously going to be 2 foreign judges and stuff there as well. I guess obviously when you go back and you look at what do they look for in the UFC, they probably look for takedowns and things like that. They sort of have it based in 3 different options. And
they say a point for this and point for that and point for that, but what do they say here? It's a guy who's peppering someone with a jab all night, but getting put on the back foot. Is he not winning the fight because the other guy is aggressive? Are you scoring aggression more than actual clean punches landed? Are you scoring power punches over quantity of punches landed? There has to be something that say this is a guideline, this is how we score fights. There probably is. I haven't looked too much into it, if I'm being truly honest. There probably is something there, but people have come up in arms, and I seen it going into the House of Commons and people reporting it to the police and stuff. Does it do anything? No, it doesn't, because no one's offering a solution to the problem. Someone needs to really sit down and offer a solution to the problem.
Definitely is. It's like a game of Scrabble or Cluedo when you don't have a clue how to play it, like a beginner's level. Obviously, I know you've been doing quite a lot of interviews today, and it's probably getting to the stage and everything else. But finally, obviously, a lot of people are asking, obviously, when we're going to see Conlan boxing back in Belfast. Is there going to be a show before the Fela in August? When are you ideally looking to get one back in?
We had April 23rd booked, but it clashed with the ESPN's date with Tyson Fury. So we are looking at another date with the Ulster Hall. Once we get something that could figure out when the fighters will be ready in time, we'll figure out. Some of the lads, I've been speaking with different lads, and lads are getting out left, right and centre, so it's a good thing. Hopefully, I've seen maybe Sean McComb potentially has a fight coming up, and Paddy McCrory could have a fight coming up, and so it's just about figuring out who we put on the shows and whatnot here, and trying to get stuff like that. We may look to go to Galway as well with Kieran Malloy in the summer sometime, if we can figure that out time-wise with everyone ready, because as I stated, most likely they're going to go Madison Square Garden in June, him and Kurt. So it's just about figuring out dates with the venues.
What a coup it is for both of them. Are fairly early on their career going to MSG. And I know that Sean and obviously Stephen Donnelly had chances like that a few years ago before, but also sort of mindset behind sort of getting them to the MSG is that realising their dreams a wee bit sooner of where they want to be.
East Coast of America, Irish community over there, giving them plenty of exposure in America to build them up on ESPN.
Fantastic. Well, Jamie, listen, thanks very much for your time. We'll obviously let you go and get your hip flask sorted for the weekend. And obviously, fingers crossed, come 11 o'clock on Saturday night, you're obviously still smiling. Michael's a new world champion.
New world champions coming Saturday night.
Cheers, Jamie. Take care.